Well, happy Tuesday. Hi, y'all. Hold on. This isn't really working for me. Trying to rig a whole setup, y'all. Okay, that's better. I think that's better. I don't know. How are you? Happy Tuesday. Wait, am I on the right thing? Hold on. I have this feeling. Kaylee, am I broadcasting? Hi, Rachel from Nova Scotia. What time is it there? I don't ever know. I don't know what. Hey, thanks. I need you to tell me if I'm broadcasting in the right place. Because I got this feeling that maybe I wasn't in the right place. No, I don't know. Dadgummit. Okay. Facebook, I'll be right back. This is the wrong place. I just had that moment and I was like, this is wrong. It is wrong. Okay. I'm going to Online Steps to Success. YouTube, just hang with me. How about that? Okay, hold on. I'll be right back. Facebook. Sorry, y'all. What the heck is wrong with me? This is what happens when you have too many pages on Facebook. You go to the wrong one. Just had this moment where I was like, I feel like this is wrong. Because it was. Nope, I don't want to post a photo. I lost my ever-loving mind. Dadgummit. How are y'all doing? Let's kill time together. What do you say? All right, here we go. And now I have to type a title. Gosh, I'm sorry. You're just staring at my hand. It's real annoying. I know. Okay, YouTube, how are you tonight? We weren't live on YouTube last week, and that's a bummer because we had a lot of great chats. So if you missed it last week, you might have to go check it out on Facebook. I am going to upload it here eventually, but I didn't get to it yet. What is this called? Okay, here we go. There we go. Okay, so if you missed it if you usually watch on YouTube and you missed, it's on Facebook. I will get it over here eventually, but anyways, hi y'all. Wrong place. Now I'm in the right place. I started broadcasting from my page because I've lost my mind. I know I'm not the only one who does dumb things though, so hopefully I have made you feel like if I could do this, anybody can. How about that? I like the angle on YouTube better, I'm just gonna say, but we're gonna go with it tonight. Hi, friends. Happy Tuesday. Are y'all ready to work? Because we did a lot of dreaming last week, or I hope you did a lot of dreaming last week, and we have a lot of work to do now. Did y'all notice I got desk number 2 back there? So Brian's moving into my, okay. It's always been our office, but he now wants his own desk, which I fully support. Fully support. However, he also wanted to pick out said office supplies for his own desk. I'm just like, it's going to be okay. All going to be okay. But he's like creeping into my space. He wanted a bookshelf for his sports memorabilia. I chose that side so you wouldn't have to look at it. It's not back here. It's over there, so you can't see it, but I can see it. And it makes me crazy. Anyways, see, these are just real world problems, y'all. Really real life problems. I'm so glad you're joining us. Happy Thursday. I think earlier I said Tuesday and I was on the wrong page. So whatever. I don't know. Hi from Australia, Vanessa. I'm so glad you're here. So glad to see you. So tonight we're going to do some work. Last week we did a lot of talk about dreaming and using your business to really dream about where you're going next. And tonight we are going to talk about how we make that happen. So I'm going to mess with you a little bit tonight, and then I'm going to ask you to ask some hard questions about your business, and I need you to hang around and I need you to do the work, because we can dream all day long, but if we don't have consistent action to back up our dreams, we're not going to go anywhere. So You're going to need paper and pencil tonight if you really want to engage and you want to get the most out of this. We're basically going to do what I spend. If I were to sit down with you and you were to say, help me with my business, like help me be better at this, help me do this well, help me create momentum, this is what I would do with you. It would typically take an hour and a half. We're going to do it in an hour tonight. And it takes an hour and a half because if we do it one-on-one, there's a lot of conversation that happens back and forth. And obviously we can't do that tonight. So you're just going to have to rhetorically answer the questions in your head, or you can engage and answer questions on chat. That'll work too. But right now would be the time to tag your new team members, to tag your old team members, to tag your friends, whomever needs a plan for their business, needs consistent action in their business, because that is what we are doing tonight. So share this video, heck, do a watch party, tag your friends, whatever you need to do, because we are doing the work tonight. Y'all good? Are we good? So welcome to Online Steps to Success. I'm so glad you're here. If it's your first time, my name's Allison Dalkey, and I already told you what we're talking about tonight. We have been going live once a week for a couple years now, and has become one of our favorite things to do. My heart is always to tell you what I'm learning about, or things that are making my business better, or share some experience with you. We want to help you dream big, work smart, make a profit, and change your world and the world around you. So I'm so glad that you have joined us and that you are engaged and ready to rock and roll tonight, because we have some work to do. So are you ready? Here we go. So last week I said we did a lot of dreaming, and dreaming is good. Hi, y'all. Oh, also, if you're watching the replay later, I would love to know that too. All of you live, you get bonus points. You get, if I could send you Girl Scout cookies, that's what you would get. If we were having a party, I think I would have Girl Scout cookies and wine probably, and we would just have a good old time. So let's pretend that's what we're doing, and let's sit down and let's get to work, okay? So we're going to look at 5 areas of your business tonight that I believe are the most important areas that you need solid, concrete goals around, and that when you create consistent action in these areas of your business, it creates momentum that moves you forward and gets you closer to your dreams. So that's what we're doing tonight. All right. I am going to ask you to question some things. I'm going to ask you to be super honest with yourself and, say, is the way that I'm doing this the best way? Is there a better way? All the things. Okay. So we're going to dive right in. Now, if we were one-on-one on Zoom, having our strategy session, we would start with sales. And so my first question to you would be, where are your sales coming from? What is your goal for sales each month? And what is your strategy for getting those sales? So I want you to ask that question of yourself, and I want you to answer it. Now, a lot of people, when we sit down and do a strategy session, will say, well, I don't really have a strategy for getting sales. Like, I'm just doing it however I can do it. Well, that's not what we want. We want a strategy. We want to do things on purpose. We want to be intentional about the way that we do things. And one of the things that's super important for you to do is to take into account your life. So if you are new and you're trying to figure out, how do I make this business work in my life? The beautiful thing is, whatever your situation, I promise that you can. But it's going to take some intentionality, and it's going to take you really looking into your schedule and the way that you spend your time, and then deciding where your business is going to fit. So when we think about sales, the first question is, what is the goal? Now, your goal, depending on what you want out of your business, depending on what the dream is, will be different, right? And that's great. So whatever your goal is, that's your goal. And the question becomes, how? How are we getting sales in that area? No, I'm not giving you the answers tonight. I want you diving in and asking yourself, do I have a strategy, and is that strategy working? And on top of that, if it's working, is there a better way to do it? Because we can do things that work and just let them be, or we can constantly reevaluate, and we can constantly, reflect on the things that we're doing and decide, is there a smarter way? So if you're doing things when it comes to sales the same way that you did them 5 years ago, if you've been in for a while, or 6 years ago, or 8 years ago, or 10 years ago, I would beg for you to answer the question, is there a better way? Is there a smarter, faster, more efficient way? So let's talk about a few ways that you might generate sales. So one of those might be that you're doing some attraction marketing on social media. So you are growing your network by the things that you're putting out into the world. You're adding value in a very noisy social media space. And that value is helping attract sales. Maybe you're focused on email marketing. You have started building an email list from your customers. You are sending. No, you can't sit with me. You little goober. Hey, I got a rogue one. She's rogue. Where's Daddy? Where is he? Where's Daddy at?
No.
You don't know?
No.
Okay, you take notes. All right? Write down everything I say. Got it? This is my baby. This is number 4.
I'm number 4.
You're number 4. What's your name?
I'm Lucy.
You're Lucy. And how old are you? How old? No. How old are you? 5. No, not 3, 4, 5. How old are you? 3. Yeah. And do you like fire trucks?
Yes.
You do? Do you like to drive in Mommy's truck or Daddy's truck?
Daddy's truck.
Daddy's truck. Lucy, my friends are saying hi to you. You're turning my chair.
Hi.
Say hi, friends. Also, if you think you can't do
Hi,
this, hi, friends.
Coco.
My entire business has been built with babies on my lap. And we have 4 of our own babies, and we've had 3 foster babies in the time that we have grown our business. So, like, that's all we've done. Babies and business. Babies and business, not babies and passies.
Yes, passies.
Yeah, here she is. Daddy's wondering where you are.
I was looking for you. Are you supposed to begin here?
She's just having a little moment, stealing the show.
Are you telling all the people?
Hey, look at them and say, dream big.
Dream big.
Work smart.
Work fun.
Work fart? That's not welcome.
Make some money.
Make some money.
Yeah. Say, change the world.
Yes. Change the world.
That's right.
Change the world.
Yeah, change the world.
Now say fire truck.
Fire.
Okay.
So this
That's
is
our
my
little funny
number
thing that she
50.
says because, you
This
know.
is my number.
That's
She'd
your
say
number.
funny things.
Give me a kiss. I love you. Mwah. Okay.
You don't have lipstick.
Yeah, you like it?
No, I
Come
want.
here. Here, let's go draw
You
on
can
this.
go
in the room.
draw in the other room. I love you.
Or I'll find you some paper. Okay. I say, I love you, Mom.
I love you. Oh, I need to
Oh, she's getting my pen.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Say, I love you.
get. I love you.
I love you too. Sorry, y'all. I watched a video one time with my friend. I was watching somebody live on video, and it was a video where they were like showing a product. I can't remember if it was like, I cannot. I think it was pearls, and so they're like, this girl's opening these pearls, and her kids, she has like a curtain up, and her kids keep ducking around the curtain, and she. It's the funniest thing I've ever seen. She's live on Facebook, and her kids like keep coming around the curtain, and she keeps going like she's doing this. And we're like swatting away, as if the people on video couldn't see her children. They could see them, and she's like, and then she would like turn around, like get out on video. So it makes me laugh so hard, and I think about that all the time. I'm like, I won't ever be that person. Like. Granted, I yell at my children and I tell them to go away sometimes, but like I won't ever be the person that I'm going to stop talking, to my kids because I'm talking to you, and that's just how it's going to be. So sorry and not sorry. This is the beautiful, amazing, fantastic thing about this business is you get to do it with babies on your lap or grandbabies on your lap or whatever, because that's how it works. So I love it. And kids are cute. So anyways, babe, thanks for stealing her back. And she is pretty dang cute. She's the baby and she knows it. All right, let's get back to work. We got sidetracked. So we were talking about sales and we were talking about different ways that you can get sales. We were talking about traction marketing. We were talking about email marketing. You can be focused on home parties. You can be focused on online parties. You can be focused on fundraisers. You can be focused on, on follow-up, right? There's so many different ways, basket parties, right? So many different ways that you can generate and make your sales goal. And I would suggest to you that if you've been doing something for a long time and you're a little bit frustrated with it, then it may be time to try something else. So like a different way, not like try something else. I'm saying like try a different way. If you are frustrated with the way your home parties are going or whatever, try it a different way or try something else. If you're frustrated with your basket parties are not what they used to be, do something different, change it up, do it different on purpose. So when I talk about you answering the question, what is your sales goal and what is the strategy to make it happen? All of this should be intentional. You are a business owner, therefore you need a business plan that you want to execute. People get burnt out because they're trying to recreate the wheel month after month after month. And they just like, I'm not really sure how I'm getting sales. I'm just doing it however I can do it, right? I'm just like spinning my wheels trying to make it happen. Well, that's not very healthy long-term. And if you want to start your business off on the right foot, my suggestion to you would be we start with a goal around each of these areas we're going to talk about. The first one is sales. And then we create a strategy, intentional strategy on how that's going to happen. How am I going to get those sales? And here's what happens when we're intentional. When I say I am solely focused on fundraisers for the next couple months, that's how I'm going to get my sales. That is where I'm putting my time and energy. It does two things. One, it creates focus and momentum for us, but it also allows us to evaluate if and when it allows us to evaluate if that is not the best way for you. So if I've done this for a couple weeks or a couple months and I'm really focused on fundraisers and then we kind of hit a roadblock or things change or life changes and we need to have a different strategy, we can also evaluate and say, how did that go for my sales? Was that a good way? Was that wearing me out? Does it take more time and energy than it's worth? Was I adding to my list from that really well? How could I have done it better? If you're focused on something, then it becomes easier to decide. It becomes easier to reflect on, is this the best way? Does this make sense? Okay, so we need a goal around sales and then we need a strategy to make that happen. Now, here's the other thing that it does when you decide, I'm just going to try this one thing. A lot of it has to do with your time. Ask yourself, how much time do I have to invest in my business each week? If it's 10 hours, great. Maybe that includes a home party a week. Maybe that includes 3 online parties a week. But you can take the time that you have and say, okay, this is the time that I've got, here's the way that I'm going to do it. And then I can plan my time accordingly, right? We're being very strategic and very intentional. No, I'm not saying that there's something wrong necessarily with just, I'll take my sales however I can get them. It's okay, but it's not a strategy and it's not intentional and it is not replicable and it's not something that you can evaluate. It's not something you can reflect on other than to say it was too much and I was overwhelmed and I don't know what I was doing. And if you're new, the other thing that like picking away helps you do is it helps you focus in and do that thing well. So if you say, my time is limited, I'm on the go, my kids are in 100 things, we're always around. I really want to focus on basket parties. That's where I think my best bang for my buck's going to be. You learn what you can. You learn all the different strategies about how people have had success doing that. And you create your own model of that. And then you test it out and see how it goes. And if it's not going well, you readjust. And if it doesn't work for you, then you go back to the drawing board and say, okay, all right, this wasn't my thing for this season. So now let me try something different. So much of this is you stepping into a process of being willing to try and fail. We talked last week about how you must be willing to fail. And you must know that you will fail. You're going to fail. Let's just get it out there. If you have a month that doesn't turn out the way that you wanted, it doesn't mean that you're not cut out for this. It means that this is an actual business that takes actual intention and actual strategy. And if you're frustrated, go back to the drawing board. Okay? Go back to the drawing board. And so tonight we're talking about how do we create momentum in our business. It is by creating consistent action. Some people would say this is like how you create a system. It is and it's not. This is a fluid idea of how do I constantly make my business work in my life. That's what's so vital for you long-term to do this well. When we talk about a goal around recruiting and around sales and around all the areas we're going to talk about, all of those goals should be mirrored and centered around your actual life. So when you look at what's happening in your life and you can say, this is what March looks like for me. Everybody knows what March looks like for me because I talk about it so much. We have a new catalog in March. I have 2 kid birthdays in March. Actually, my daughter's birthday is tonight. She's 12 today. Actually, she just turned 12. She said, not till 8:30, Mom. Yep, not till 8:30. So, my son turned 10 this week. It's just a busy week and we have spring break. So it's a busy month for us and it means I have to be ridiculously intentional, but I know that. I know that in February, I know it in January when I'm figuring out what my strategy is going to be. I know that those things are going to happen and I know that my business might look different on purpose in March than it does in February, right? So this has to be a constant. If you want to do this well, you got to get your life in line, not like straighten things up, but I'm saying like you have to know what's going on and what margin you have to put into your business. And then you fill that space with intentionality on purpose, not on accident. So if you want that long-term growth, there has to be the consistent action in these areas. So we talked about sales. The next area you're going to set a goal around is around recruiting. If you want to make money long-term doing this, you have to build a team. Your team can do infinitely more than you can on your own. That's the beautiful, beautiful gift of this business is that now it's way more than that. 90% of my paycheck comes from my team and my leaders and the work that they're doing. 10% of it is my actual sales, right? That's why we have such a huge focus on training and equipping and empowering because I need them doing their job well because that's partly how I get paid. It's the same thing when you're in a leadership position in an organization. You are leading the charge and your team is doing a lot of the hands-on work. They can sell so much more product than I can alone, right? So it's vital that you build a team. So there has to be a goal around team building. What does it look like? How are you going to get recruits? So I would suggest that the strategy that you put in place is centered and focused around your gifts, the things that you are naturally good at, the things that come easy to you. Now, this is not everyone agrees with this. You're going to hear people tell you the opposite thing, that whatever your goal is, it needs to be outside your comfort zone. I'm not saying your goal should be easy. I'm saying the way that you reach your goal, the consistent action that you're going to put in place to reach your goal needs to be centered around the things that you're actually good at, the things that come naturally to you, the things that, the things that you find joy in doing. So there were seasons when there was so much talk about stand in line and talk to strangers and hand out samples to people you don't know and start conversations with, people in line at Target. And that's great. It makes me want to crawl inside myself and die. I am a natural introvert. When I have alone time, if I am by myself at Target, the last thing in the world I want to do is stand behind someone with a baby in their cart and make small talk. Yes, it works for people. My sweet friend Jamie, she could do this and it is her gifting. Like, it truly is. Like, she can find connection with people. Actually, my newest recruit, Savannah, this is one of her gifts. She is so good at connecting with people that just strangers. It is not my gift. Like, it is not, and I'm okay with it. But I spent a lot of time early on in my business feeling like I should be doing those things. And granted, there are seasons when I've had to do things that make me uncomfortable if I want to go to the next step. And that may be where you're at. But also, let's not take for granted the things that we're naturally good at and the things that bring us joy. So something that I love to do, I love equipping and empowering women. It is like my heart of hearts. If I can sit across from you at coffee, and we can have a conversation one-on-one, like that is everything to me. Even if I can write words that make you feel a little better about your day or about yourself or about who you are, that's in my natural gifting. I don't know that I didn't know it for a long time, but I wasn't using it to grow my business. And when I started intentionally doing those things, like when that became my mode of recruiting because it was in my natural gifting, everything started to change. So my way of equipping is I don't talk to strangers a lot, and that's okay. And if you do, that needs to be part of how you get recruits, right? If you can connect with people, you need to be connecting with people. But if you are not someone who that's like natural for you, that's okay too. You can still make this work. But it means that you're finding connection with people that you know, and you're speaking truth and power into their lives about who they are and what they could be or what they could accomplish, right? So there's 100 ways that you could focus on getting recruits. So much of it is there has to be an ask. So regardless of if I'm talking to strangers, or if I'm really just focused on the relationships I have and then growing my list, which we're going to talk about in a minute, either way, whatever your way is going to be, whatever your natural gifting is, there has to be an ask. If you're not asking, you will never know. And that looks as simple as saying things like, hey, have you ever thought about doing this? You love this product. You've shown up to my last 3 sip and smells or my last 3 favorite things parties. You love this product. You're addicted. Have you ever thought about doing this to make some extra money? You would be great at it. Those are things that I say, if I believe them to be true, that help people have this thought roll through their mind. Have I ever thought about it? Or would I want to? So we have to have an ask. So your goal when it comes to recruiting needs to be around asking. You cannot control what people will or won't do, but you can control the words that you say. And so when the goal becomes around, I need to ask 10 or 15 people a month, I need to ask whatever the goal, whatever it is, that may relate. Asking 15 may get you 2. It may get you 1. It may get you none. But you have to do the work that you can control, okay? And that work, if you want it to be consistent and you want it to be something you do over and over again, needs to be centered around the things that you're good at and the things that you find joy in. If it is something that you dread doing, do not make that your strategy. This is so vital for you to understand. If you dread doing something, it cannot be your strategy for growth and momentum and consistent action. It can't be. Find the things that you are good at, that you have gifting in, that bring you joy, and create your strategy around those things. You have gifts and talents inside of you for a reason. Use them for good. And don't shy away from what they are. Utilize the gifts you have. Okay, so we talked about sales. We talked about recruiting. Let's talk about list building. So there's 5 areas that we're going to set goals around. The third one is list building. We have to be making consistent action in building our list. So what does that mean? Well, you are in a network marketing business, which means your job is to network. And network essentially is list building. It means I am growing my list. I am growing the people that I know. I am intentionally adding potential team members, potential customers, potential hosts to my list all the time. And that can literally be anybody, right? But we have to have a strategy for building our list. Now, again, your strategy needs to be centered around something that you are good at naturally. So, what does that look like? If I were to ask you, what is your strategy for list building? Would you be able to tell me? Do you have a strategy for list building? Or are you just like, I don't know, like if I have a party, then I'm adding those people to my list? Well, yes, but that's not strategy. Strategy has to be bigger than that. We live in a world where the World Wide Web is a thing, and all the social media platforms are a thing. And love them or hate them or whatever you feel about them, they are powerful, and they make a big difference. So, sorry, getting my texts. Utilize the power of social media. That was a very long pause, and I apologize for it. Utilize the power of social media and take that and create your list building strategy around it. So what does that look like? It looks like attraction marketing. It looks like creating lead generators. What's a lead generator? A lead generator is a useful document or a useful image or a useful PDF download or mini course or something that gains you new email subscribers or new followers on social media. So it's an exchange for an exchange. So if I have a lead generator about 3 things you should never do when decorating your home, maybe that's the title of it, because negative always works better than positive. People click on negative more than they work on positive. 3 things you should never do when decorating your home, because we are in the home decor space, right? If that is my lead generator, and if they want that list of 3 things they should never do, they click here, they put their email in, their email goes into your email list, and you are building your list of potential customers and potential team members. That's a way to build your list. Adding value on social media is another way to do that. If you are strictly branding yourself with your product and that is it, and you are just splashing it all over the world, there's a good chance you're getting unfollow, unsee, clicked by your name, because social media is inundated with people trying to sell something. I don't want to be sold to, but I do want value added to my life. And in a very, very noisy space online, if someone is not adding value to my life, I am unfollowing, unseeing, unsubscribing, all the things. And your customers are too. So how do you add value? That goes back to that gifting. What are the things that you're good at? What are the things that you bring joy to you? If you're not educating, entertaining, or empowering on social media, what are you actually doing? If you're just selling something, do you think people want to see it? I don't know. It's a question. I'm just asking it. It's something to consider. But there are so many ways that you can intentionally build your list of people. It can happen through fundraising. If fundraising is the way you're getting sales, that's an incredible way to build your list, right? You're having kids or adults or whatever out there doing the work for you. They're bringing people to you. That's adding to your list. Your list is powerful, and your list is everything in this business. And your list is not just people who have bought from you. Your list is people who know, trust, and like you, because that's who we buy from. We buy from the people that we know, like, and trust. I said it backwards a second ago. But that is essentially who people will buy from over and over again. If I know you, I like you, and I trust you, then I want to buy from you if you have a product that I want, right? If I don't know you, or don't like you, or I don't trust you, why would I? If my aunt starts selling, then I'm definitely buying from her, right? Or if even just my third cousin Remove starts buying, I don't really know her, but I know she sells it, and I know her at least, but I don't know you. Your goal is to get your customers and your followers and your people on your list to know, trust, and like you. Because when that happens, then that list becomes more powerful. Does that make sense? So there needs to be an intentional strategy around list building. That is the business that you are in, and you need to have a strategy. You need to have this is how I'm adding to my list. This is the number of people I want added to my list. Because how can I evaluate something that I don't have numbers set around? If I don't have a goal set, how can I go back and say that I hit the mark, right? Okay, so those are 3 areas so far. We talked about sales, we talked about recruiting, we talked about list building. Number 4 is leadership. And this is important. I don't care if you joined yesterday. I don't care if you've been in for 10, 15 years. Leadership needs to be part of your business strategy. It needs to be part of the consistent action that you take in your business to reach your goals. So last week we talked all about dreaming big, about creating vision for what you want out of this business. Well, that's really great. It's great. And everybody likes to hear about it. But it's not great and nothing happens if you don't put your booty in gear and start consistently working. The reason why not everybody is at the top is because not everybody is willing to do the consistent work. So are you? Are you willing to create a system, to create a goal around sales, around recruiting, around list building, around leadership that talks about this is where I'm putting consistent action in place? There are 5,000 resources out there. This is why narrowing in, creating a strategy, and moving forward with that plan is vital. You cannot do everything well, but you can do a few things well. And when we look at each of these areas, sales, recruiting, list building, and leadership, and we say, okay, these are the 4 areas of my business. There's one more we'll get to in a minute. These are the 4 areas of my business that I need to have a plan, and I need consistent action. That means every single week, every single day, whatever that looks like for you. It's not every day for me. Won't even lie to you about it. It's 5 days a week, very intentionally. But whatever you have to give and whatever you want to give, however many days a week it is, I have consistent action around these areas in my business. And I repeat that action over and over and over again. If you're not doing the things, you cannot get to the dream, period. You can't. Okay. So what does leadership look like? How do I create consistent action around leadership? Well, if you have nobody on your team, do you know who you need to lead? You. You have to lead yourself. That's where your leadership goal is centered around, okay, if I want to have a responsibility of leadership, it means I have to get a new team member. So that means becoming better at communication, at the things that you're talking about in your business, the way that you're presenting your business, because once you get those things under control, then you are going to have people start to come to you. So much of it are the words you say. Your words are so, so, so powerful. And even a little twist in the way that you say things and the way that you present things when asking for a party, when asking if someone would like to join, can drastically change the outcome of how people react to you. So be aware of the words that you say. That's part of how you're going to lead yourself. If you have one team member or more, there needs to be consistent action every single week when it comes to your leadership. There needs to be communication with the people on your team. There needs to be recognition, and there needs to be support. You get to decide what that looks like. If it's one person, maybe it's a text every week. Hey, how are you doing? Talk to me about your strategy. Talk to me about what you're working towards. If it's 3 people, maybe it's the same thing. If you have a whole team of people, if you have hundreds of people, maybe it's an email, maybe it's a team page. Whatever that looks like for you, that is what has to become the consistent action in your business when it comes to leadership. Okay. Maybe it's like, I need to take it to the next level when it comes to my leadership, and I need to learn a little bit more about leading and what that looks like. Maybe to go to the next level, I need to start really consistently educating myself on leadership strategies, because you're in a leadership business. So it's important that you have consistent action around that. Okay. The very last area, we've talked about creating consistent action in sales, recruiting, list building, leadership. And then the very last one is personal growth. If you are stuck, if you're not progressing, if you're not moving forward, 9 times out of 10, it's because you have stopped growing personally. You can watch all the videos on how to have a party. You can watch all the videos on how to do a fundraiser. You can learn all the things. But if you are not personally growing consistently, your business will stall out. Your leadership will stall out. Your influence will stall out. So it is vital that you have some sort of goal around personal growth. Now, what does that practically look like? If I want consistent action around personal growth, honestly, it can be a number of things. It could be I'm listening to a podcast about online marketing because that's what I'm learning about, or I'm listening to reading something, or I'm taking a course. Do you know how many online courses you can take now about just about anything? That would greatly help your business. There's tons of them, way more than tons. There's like gazillions of them. There are so many things that you can do to better yourself personally. And the more you grow personally, the more your business will grow, the more momentum you will get. Anytime that a leader comes to me and is struggling, and they know the things, they know how to sell, they know how to recruit, they know how to add to their list, they know how to lead their team, but they're stuck, it always comes down to they have stopped learning. The personal growth has completely stalled out. So if you can't answer the question to me, what are you learning about right now? That's a place that we start. Okay. So we start, okay, maybe I need to learn about online marketing. Maybe I need to learn about websites. Maybe I need to learn about a blog. Maybe I need to learn about email marketing. Maybe I need to learn about attraction marketing. There's so many things that you can dive into to better yourself and your journey. It might be spiritual for you. It might be healing past hurt. I have no idea what it is, but when you are stuck, it is often because you have not taken the steps to personally grow. Orville has said 100 times, and I love this, that this business is a personal growth journey with a compensation plan. And I could not agree more. It 100,000% is. It's like somebody pays you to grow personally, and the benefits of it are huge. But when you stall out, when it comes to personal growth, everything in your business stalls too. So it's vital that there is some sort of consistent action every single month around personal growth. Okay. All right. We have a couple minutes and I want to answer some of your questions, and I want to talk, and then I'm going to close with something that I think is really important. I'll answer like 2 questions. We talked about, I'm writing myself a note. We talked about all the areas that we need consistent action in your business, because last week we did all that talking and all that chatting and all that loving and preaching about dreams and how vital it is that you know where you're going and why, and that you know what you're capable of through this business. But all of that is just pretty talk if you don't have consistent action with it. So do we have any questions, any comments, anything you want me to clarify before we close out? I'm going to wait just a second. And for all of you that like my lipstick, thanks. And yes, my new profile picture was taken today, because you could probably tell by my hair and my lipstick and my shirt, because it all matches. Okay, no questions? Or you're typing them. So here's what everybody really likes it. When I get on a rant and tell you about all the great things you can do. It's good to hear. But there comes a time when you can't just listen to all the good and pretty, and you actually have to do the work. And tonight's about doing the work. And not everyone will do it. That is just the honest truth. Not everybody will do the work. But you have to decide if you're going to be the one who does. And if you are going to be that person, then you're going to spend the time intentionally creating a strategy around these areas of your business. You're going to sit down with your director. You're going to sit down with your sponsor. You're going to sit down with yourself. I don't care if you're by yourself, whatever. There are no excuses. And you're going to create a plan. You're going to create a strategy. There is so much information out there about the specifics and how-tos of the little things that you can do. Remember, last week we talked about you need to fail. Like part of this is failing. So if we're so scared and bound up that we're going to misstep or we're going to do something wrong that we won't fail, then you're never going to succeed. It is impossible for you to do this well without misstepping. So just step into it. Just own it. Just decide this is going to be the plan. This is going to be the strategy. This is going to be where I'm going. And try it out and give it your best and do the consistent action and continue to refine the process and get better at it and see what happens. It might fail. There's so many things that I have tried in this business and then like, that doesn't work. I'm not going to do that. Or that made me look stupid. Not going to do that anymore. Or I thought this was a great idea and I thought that I loved it, but it's way too much work. Like it takes up way too much time and there's a smarter and faster and better way to do it. Everything has to be questioned. Everything has to be evaluated. Is this the best thing for me? There's so much advice out there and there's so many people that will tell you do X, Y, Z, A, B, C, D, Q, R, X, whatever. And you do those things and you check those boxes and you will be successful. The problem with that strategy is that is how a manager treats an employee and you are not an employee. You are a business owner. And you, to act like a business owner, you need to put your big girl panties on and learn how to do the things that it takes to be successful. You need to figure out how to use your gifts and your talents to create a strategy of consistent action that's going to work for you. If someone tells you to do something that not in your gifting, it's probably not going to work for you and you're going to be frustrated. So I want you to evaluate those things. Have I been doing something? Am I super frustrated because I'm doing something the way I saw somebody else do it, but they're gifted at it and I'm not? Look, it's okay to say I'm not great at that thing. It's okay to say that, and then you have to go back to the drawing board and say, okay, but what am I great at? What am I good at? Where is my gifting? Where are my natural talents? Who actually am I? Because with the truer your business becomes to who you are, the more people are going to be attracted to you. The more they're going to want what you have. The more they're going to want to be a part of your team because they are actually seeing who you are and watching you live out of your gifts and talents. It starts with a dream, and we talked about that last week. It is vital. It is so vital in this business that you are thinking big, that you are dreaming big, that you are doing all the things big. And it's important. But you have to add into that consistent action, your gifts, and then you get the momentum. If you're missing any of those pieces, if we're missing the dream, if we're missing consistent action, or if we're not utilizing our gifts in our business, the momentum's not going to happen. So if you're in a place where you feel like I'm lacking the momentum, like I don't have it, where did it go? Like I don't have momentum, ask yourself which of the three is missing. What's the dream? Is there consistent action? And am I operating my business out of my gifts and talents? Because if you're not, momentum won't happen. It just won't. A dream, consistent action, utilizing your gifts, and then you get the momentum. So often people are missing one or two of those. They're doing the consistent action, but it's not in their gifting and they're frustrated and they're overwhelmed and they feel like they're throwing their head against a wall because the strategy that they have is not a strategy that fulfills who they are or that utilizes the gifts they have. And that's why they're frustrated, right? And it's not working because it doesn't feel authentic and it doesn't feel real because it's not who they are. Question everything. Everything you hear me say, everything you hear somebody else say, is that right for me? Is that right for my gifts and talents? Is that right for my family and my lifestyle? Is that right for the business that I want to create? Because that's what's vital moving forward. Your dream plus your consistent action plus utilizing your gifts in your business. That's what creates momentum. And I know that not everybody's willing to do it. Not everybody's willing to do the work. I know that because I've seen it 1,000 times. I don't even know the number of people that have come on our team and are not around anymore. Like way more than I could count. I actually don't even want to know. Actually, I don't care. I mean, I do care, but not everyone's willing to do the work. If you step into creating a strategic plan with a dream backing it, utilizing your gifts and talents, that is all about consistent action, you will see long-term that momentum will happen. A couple of you have said something about your gifts and talents. There's actually several websites that you can take like a free gifts test on that will show you what your gifts of questions that you ask that they ask of you. Mine are teaching, hospitality, faith. What's my other one? Oh, encouraging. I think it's encouraging or encouragement. Yeah. So go search for a gifts test. They are awesome. Mine was actually a spiritual gifts test. If that's not your thing, you can just search like a gifts test. There's a great book called Strength Finders. I don't know. By Tom. Hold on. Well, I thought it was red and it must be wrong. Must be white. I don't see it. Do you want me to look for it? Hold on. I'll find it. Just talk amongst yourselves. Oh, it is red. Strengths Finder. Oh, that's white. Strengths Finder. If you buy the book, you get a free test. Okay, here's mine. I'm a maximizer, a learner, achiever, belief, and harmony. Those are like my strengths. Brian's, just so if you wanted to know, are woo, competition, activator, maximizer, and command. And then like it walks, so you take this test and then it walks you through like what they are. See, my 137 is maximizer. It's actually a really great book and really practical, like gives you action steps. Yeah. This is true. So it says about a maximizer. Excellence, not average, is your measure. Taking something from below average to slightly above average takes a great deal of effort, and your opinion is not very rewarding. Transforming something strong into something superb takes just as much effort, but is much more thrilling. Strengths, whether yours or someone else's, fascinate you. So that's exactly what I was talking about. Like when I'm talking about me recruiting people, I am drawn to what people are good at. Like I can see it and I want to maximize on it. So like my newest recruit, Savannah, she is so good at connecting with people, and just her personality. She is the person that will talk to have a full on conversation with the waitress where I'm just like, I'm here for my food. Like it sounds really crappy of me, but it's just true. But she is the person who is just so good at connecting with people. And so I just called her out on it and said, hey, I think you'd be great at this. Like you love people. You're good at connecting people. I think you'd be great at this. That's what a maximizer does. So Strengths Finder might be a good resource for you. There's also free spiritual gifts tests online that can help you identify what your strengths and your gifts are, because they're so vital and important for you to utilize in your business. And I promise when you step into them and when you utilize them the way that they were given to you to be used, you're going to feel so much more fulfilled in what you're doing in your business. So I hope this was helpful. It's not helpful if you don't sit down and do the work. If you just listen and you don't actually make the plan or create the strategy to move forward with your action plan, it's not going to be helpful to you. We have to have consistent action in addition to a big dream and using our gifts. So if those are your things, when those are your things, I started reading a comment and I was just going off on a tangent. You take those things, my dream, my gifts and talents, and consistent action, and utilize that to create momentum in your business. That's what you want long term. So this is a great resource to sit down with your team member with. Like if you have a new team member, this is a great thing to start them with. Okay, we need a plan around. And I usually, when I have a new team member, the first thing we do is we're just trying to sell product, get their business launched quick, right? Because the faster, the better. And after we kind of get through that initial 15 or 30 days, then we sit down. I just let them go with momentum in the beginning, right? Momentum and excitement. Let's do that. And then we sit down and make a plan centered around their gifts based on the time they have. And these are the things that I ask them. Okay, what's the PRV goal going to be? And it all starts around how much time do they have? What is their dream? You need to know those things. And so this is something you can sit down with them and say, okay, let's walk through this. Let's talk about, tell me about your dream. Tell me about how much time you have to commit to this, that you're willing to commit. And then let's sit down and make a plan. We're going to have a goal for PRV. We're going to do consistent action in sales. We're going to have a goal for recruiting. We're going to do consistent action in recruiting. We're going to have a goal for building your list, because this is a list building business. It's how you're going to be successful long term. You're going to set consistent action around that. And then the same around leadership and personal growth. So I hope this is a tool that you utilize. I hope that you sit down and you do the work. Not everybody will, but I'm believing that, one, if you're still here, that you will, and that it will be the thing that launches you into momentum. So I love you guys. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll talk to you soon. I'll talk to you next Thursday, actually. Hope y'all have a fantastic night, and I'll see you later. Bye. Oh, and if you have any questions or you need anything, shoot us a message. We'd be happy to answer and chat with you. So talk to you later. Oh, hold on. So many things.